Hello and welcome to the Paddock Podcast with Adam McCullough, Stephen Howson, Jay Motti and me, Joe Smith. We are live with the Paddock Podcast every single Monday at 4 p.m. on YouTube. The Paddock Podcast title sponsor is Manscaped, the global leaders in men's below-the-waist grooming. Enjoy this week's show.
Who's doing it? Yo. Welcome to the Paddock Pod. Stephen Howson from such videos as Might As Well Be Celtic. The Internet 2.0.
Nice, finally. Embrace it, brother.
Embrace it.
Celebrate it.
We're going to sell merch.
All right, okay, yeah. Have we got that merch up on the paddockmerch.com?
Not yet.
Can we get that now, sorted, quickly?
Can I do it?
What?
Can I do
Fuck it, see if it
All right,
happens.
let's
I only want 150% cut.
I told you the story, didn't I, when I was with Crawler at his gym?
Yeah.
Can I tell it again? 'Cause I like it.
Yeah, I've not heard this
I
one.
guess.
Yeah. So Callum Smith,
World champion at the time.
world champion, super middleweight, WBC world champion, widely recognised as pound for pound the best super middleweight in the world.
Yeah. Can he fight though?
It's all right.
It's been said, I guess.
mean,
it's been said.
If he was to walk in and kick off, I fancy us to do him.
Well, yeah, because the bats should be on it.
Yeah, we got help from everyone else.
Yeah.
So he's going, Crawler's like talking, oh yeah, because I said to him, you know, you coming on the channel? He's like, yeah, who's it with you and Steve? Yeah, I'll come on the brew. So Callum's like, what is all that? And he's like, oh, you know, it's United lads who talk about United, you know Steve, don't you, Stephen Howson? He's like, nah, I don't think I do. He goes, the lad who said, Might As Well Be Celtic when City won league. He went, oh, I know him, yes. I thought, there you go, you see. You've brought Liverpool boxing and Manchester football together. Wonderful.
Crawler's the busiest man in the world, you know.
Have you ever walked down the street, Andy Crawler?
I haven't.
No, I know you haven't because you'd still be doing it now if you ever had. It is, and I love Crawler, right? Big shout out to him. He's a good mate and a friend of this channel. But he is a nightmare because that lad cannot spend 30 seconds with anyone. If someone stops him, he will chat to them forever. He will listen to their life story. He will listen to their tips on boxing and not tell them to do one. He is that nice.
World champion, yeah.
They'll be like, you know what you want to do, man? When you're fighting, oh right, okay. Yeah, that's good idea, that.
When he said he was fighting Lomachenko, I was like, we need a word.
Oh, man. I know. Do you know what I mean?
He got about, I think he got a lot of money for it, let's say. Anyway.
Listen, you can't knock anyone for fighting the best in the world ever.
What's fucking great about him as well is
He's
like he doesn't come out with no clop excuses afterwards.
No.
You know, there's
Excuses,
not
I
about
like it.
Trademark that one.
there's nothing about the weather, nothing like do you know what? There was a bit of light in my eye from the spotlights, none of that shit. He went afterwards. I went, mate, what? And he went, he's fucking good, isn't he? He's like,
Brilliant.
It's like I can't fucking get near him, Steve.
That's how it should be.
Do you know what? I love that.
Lomachenko, for me, Lomachenko's the greatest of all time. Like Mayweather, you can't hit, but Lomachenko you can't see, and he's hitting you at the same time.
And also,
like.
Lomachenko spent so much of his career as an amateur.
300 fights.
Yeah, we've seen Mayweather obviously had a good amateur career, but then he's become a professional relatively early. Lomachenko was like an amateur for years and years.
I think he was world champion 4 fights into his career.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was it's ridiculous. He's only had about 15 fights or something. I think it's not many.
Lomachenko, if you watch boxing, if you
we'll
like
never look at
boxing,
that 'cause I might be getting that wrong.
Lomachenko he makes it look sexy. It's so good to watch. Like he makes it entertaining. His movement, his footwork, everything like that. Anyway, it's one of them.
It's all football.
Guess what?
Go on. I want to just make
Johnny
sure
was-
I'm getting this right. And
What did you lot do this weekend?
Say again.
He's had 16. He's had 18 fights. Sorry, not.
What did you lot do this weekend? Anything good?
Oh yeah.
Is
Is that right? Although you wouldn't let me do what I wanted to do on this video.
No, you wouldn't let me. I mentioned it on Instagram Live before.
Yeah, he's like, no, we're not doing that.
What?
What I wanted to wear.
Oh right, yeah. No, you could have worked. I didn't say you couldn't. I just said I
I
wasn't.
know, but what
It'd been better if we were all full kit, though.
It was. Shimmies on and that.
You didn't like. What was the script with you on Saturday night? Did you sort of have it on the background while you at the gym? What was the? Did you risk it? Did you go? Hang on
Right, here's what happened, right?
I've got an alert. Do you know what I mean?
I'm setting myself up for some comments here, but last year I went to the gym when City and Chelsea played,
Right.
and I did like 2 hours on the cross trainer, and then when I came out, City hadn't won, and I was like, right, that worked. So I was thinking, I'll do it again this year, and I went and I did 2 hours on the cross trainer, absolutely filleted myself, and I didn't have it on. I was watching a documentary on war, obviously.
Yeah.
Any more in particular?
Yeah, World War II, the great one.
Yeah.
Best characters, best baddies.
Yeah, I like that.
Had it all going on in it.
Yeah.
Bit of jungle, bit of desert, bit of
you know what I mean?
Northern Europe.
Proper-
Anyway, proper war. So I was watching a documentary on war, and I had obviously live alerts on, and I was getting texts off loads of people. And Joe, when you get in the middle of a game, if everyone else thinks you're watching it at the same time as them, no one's giving you any context to anything. You just get texts saying, fucking hell.
Yeah.
And you're like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So I'm ignoring them, and I'm just keeping doing my thing. And then Ben texts me saying these cheating Scouse bastards are going to do it again, aren't they? It's like VAR saving their ass, and I'm like, what is going on here? And then I had the alert pop up, Vinicius, 59 minutes, goal. And I was like, let me get this game on now. I had finished watching, and obviously finished 2 hours on the nose.
Yeah. It's just
Perfect.
it was weird because
Injury. They put in this. I love this, and I was like, how do I take a photo of this? But if you do a screenshot of BT on your phone, you just get a black square.
Yeah.
When he put the board up for 5 minutes, I had 5 minutes left, and I was like, I'll go to the end. Sort of whistle.
it was so. I know, like people might be watching that going, oh well, if there's any non-United fans watching, going, unless he's had this,
Do I look sad?
Exactly, and it would have been unbearable. Them winning the 7th Champions League, all the media nonsense. The media nonsense went on with them losing. You had
Still
Michael
has.
Owen,
Still is,
and
yeah.
who's that one off Talk Sport, that idiot? Well, that
Simon
doesn't narrow it
Jordan.
down. Sorry, Simon Jordan. Sorry, that could have been anyone.
I know. It's in the
Yeah,
clip.
Simon Jordan saying, well, they're still the best team in Europe. They're not even the best team in England. What are you on about?
I love that one going around yesterday. Real Madrid had this run to the Champions League final. They beat the French champions. They beat the English champions. They beat the European champions and the Carabao Cup holders.
Do you know what? That annoyed me though. That annoyed me because on the night, Darren Fletcher was doing commentary, not the footballer, obviously, the commentator, and he was going, oh, you look at Real Madrid's run. If they win this, no one has done it harder, tougher than this season than Real Madrid. And I thought, hang on a minute, right? You played City in the semis, who've got how many Champions Leagues have they won?
Oh, none.
Oh, right, okay, sorry. Silly me. You played Paris Saint-Germain
none.
last season. No, right, so you played two teams that have never won the Champions League between them and have only ever been to 2 finals between them, right? You obviously played the Carabao Cup winners who didn't win their league, right? I know you've played the league winners another time, but Liverpool aren't this sort of amazing team that everyone goes on about. And then I don't even know about the groups, but you go back to United in '99.
Sheriff weren't in their group this year, were they?
Who?
Sheriff was in their group this year.
Yeah, they had
I mean,
you know what I mean? It
and they
wasn't-
lost the first game.
Pull up 99.9!
I'll tell you, Bayern Munich, Barca in your group, right? The group of death.
Ballon d'Or winner.
Ballon d'Or
Don't
winner.
fucking get me started.
Rivaldo, don't get him
let's-
started.
no,
Let's not
no.
do that.
Gary Neville's already blanked him talking about that.
Yeah, international in this last 16. Yeah, this is the Zamorano era. when they were
Ronaldo
mint.
era.
Yeah,
Ronaldo.
thank you. When they were mint.
You dick.
Yeah, then you've got. Oh, he weren't there.
Zamorano.
Yeah, I know, but he weren't there, was he?
Yeah.
Was it?
He played in one leg and was injured in the other.
Oh,
one.
right, that's
All right,
right. Okay, yeah. Well, okay. The R9 era. Then there you go, even better. Then you've got
Post the fucking Dwight York in his house.
exactly. Then you've got Rude. You've got Juventus in the semis. This is the same Juventus who went to 4 finals in 6 years.
UEFA coefficient ranked #1 team.
Yeah.
147 points off the top of my head, I think.
Some bloke calls Zinedine Zidane alongside some other geezer called Deschamps alongside some other geezer called Davids in midfield.
Yeah.
Pretty weak, if you ask me.
Conte and Montero
You know what I mean?
and
Inzaghi.
Delivio and-
Yeah. Not much about him, to be honest with you.
No.
That's your semi, yeah? You get past that. And then you've got, hello, Bayern Munich again in the final. And you beat them all.
And this thing of how many games Liverpool played, we had to qualify because
Yeah.
at
We
that
had to play,
point
is it
it was
Lodz?
it not. We had to
Lodz
qualify.
in the qualifying round.
2009, we had more games because we had the Super Cup, which we lost. We had the Charity Shield, which we won.
Yeah.
We had the World Club Cup, which we won. We played more games than them.
Yeah.
They come away with more trophies.
So this whole
And won the league.
this whole recency bias where everything's the
By the
best
way.
ever and everything's the most hard it's ever been and everything, no one's ever done it like this and this is the greatest team you've ever seen and it's all nonsense. It isn't. We've seen the greatest teams we've ever seen. They were managed by Sir Alex Ferguson. Last team to beat Real Madrid in a European final.
Apparently, Aberdeen, but I wasn't even sure.
I
About
didn't know
that.
that, and I think me and you should be ashamed of ourselves.
Yeah,
for not knowing
devastated,
that,
yeah.
off the top of
Yeah.
our heads. And in what competition as well?
You know the competition.
The best competition. All this Champions League nonsense. It's not even the best competition. Best competition doesn't exist anymore. It was that good, they had to scrap it. Get involved in the comments. We've got a few. Zachary Purvis.
So
who's
anyway, highlight of my weekend anyway.
Sorry.
I
We'll
went to
get
watch,
some.
I went to watch Top Gun last night.
Did you go and watch Top Gun?
Oh my God,
Oh,
Jay.
bro, I need to see this.
Oh my God.
Where did you watch it?
Cinema, Jay.
No, where? The cinema.
I was in a seat, Jay.
Cinema. Is that like the picture house?
The
Right. Is this near your house?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Don't say no more then. Fair enough. Go on.
It's fucking mint.
I've heard it's good.
Good.
There's only, right, here's the thing, right? Top Gun's cheesy as fuck.
Do you reckon?
Really?
Yeah.
It's like proper American melted cheese with cheese on top, right? It's cheesy. Yeah?
So it's right up your street, isn't it?
Yeah.
You are Mr. American.
Yeah, it's so cheesy, but that's what makes it good.
course it is.
Because it knows it's cheesy. They're playing volleyball. Like, they know it's cheesy. You know what I mean?
Right.
This one, it's a little less cheesy. Now, there's a couple of things where you
here we
go,
go.
this doesn't add up a little bit. One, they never say who the unnamed Eastern European enemy is. I'm not going to give you the spoiler alert, but they didn't do that at the end. Right?
Does Tom
That's
Cruise
just
save the
nonsense.
world?
Not the world.
Just the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, so this isn't a spoiler alert. I've saved a spoiler alert one. That's the only time I was like, fuck off. But there's a bit of a premise that you'll get over it, but it's a little bit annoying, is that they haven't got like a squadron that they're going to go to for some really difficult mission. They have to get everybody back at Top Gun, all of the previous graduates from Top Gun, to put a team together to go do it. That's a little bit of a bollocks premise.
See, I don't
Like, they haven't
mind,
got,
I
like,
don't mind
special
stuff like
forces
I don't mind
pilots.
stuff like because I'm clueless. So you know about things like this. You might go, that's just. But I'd be like, yeah, whatever.
Like, I know you've got a squadron
Right,
that does
fine.
this shit. Like, that's just, especially America.
That's
It's
what I
definitely
mean.
got, like,
See, I'll be over that very quickly. That bit. Do you know what I mean? I need to see it because I was a bit. But the reviews have been amazing and the trailers hooked me.
Well, there's nostalgia in there. If you're not aware that like Goose's kid's in there, where the fuck have you been?
Did you cry when Goose died?
Did I cry when Goose died? What, when I was 3?
Yeah.
No.
No, I did. I was 7. That and Apollo Creed. Never got over it.
I'm still over Apollo Creed.
No,
Greatest
it's horrible.
documentary ever seen. What?
It's a boxing documentary. It all
You know,
happened.
there's actually a guy called Rocky Balboa. He's a ranked boxer. Google Rocky Balboa box rec. Do it right now.
Let's not.
He's not got a great record.
I want to see these guys.
Because can you imagine if he's going to come out to Eye of the Tiger and everything? In, he's going to go full.
If he's
thing.
got any,
You have
if
to.
he's got any, anything about him, right? I'm trying to find this. What's all this?
Did that took you to his record?
Go on. I don't know what it's took me to. This is you, Ed. Oh no, this is like the actual. They've made a box record for the actual character.
All right.
I'm trying to find. Oh right. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here's your man. No, he's had one fight that he
One
lost
loss.
by knockout
Where's he from though?
from Philadelphia.
What are the odds,
Right.
Jay?
I'm not being funny, right? This guy's got a boxing record that I could match, right? He's had one fight.
Yours is better.
Yeah, mine
not lost.
couldn't be any worse than this. It's impossible. He's had one fight, he lost it, and he lost it by knockout. So, yeah,
You got no.
How
You
many
have
rounds?
to be good with that.
it was. He just says he doesn't say the round. He just says lost knockout. He lost to Robert Hines. Let's have a look at Robert Hines. To be fair, Robert Hines is decent. He's had 29 fights and he's won 25 of them. I don't know what was Rocky Balboa was doing. I think his name got into his head.
Yeah.
Don't worry about this kid. I've got him.
I've watched the film.
Yeah, I've watched the film, but Rocky, you've never had a fight in your life, and this guy's had 27. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna do him.
So yeah, it was cheesy,
Right.
but the new one, Maverick one, it's not as cheesy, and it was all right. It was,
I want cheese
very
on.
enjoyable. Oh, so the kid, right?
Rooster.
You forget that he's literally an extra in the original Top Gun. I don't think he has a line. He's just kind of
singing that
dragged
song,
around,
innit?
yeah.
Yeah.
But they keep showing you like clips of it, and it fucking does give you a bit of nostalgia about it. You're like, oh shit, yeah, there's a relationship here, kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like
That
that.
was good in Rocky when they did that as well, because you're like, as he's thinking of all these memories, I'm thinking of all these fucking memories.
I know.
That's one of the only good things about let's pretend 60-year-old blokes are doing this.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Top Gun was 36 years ago.
Tom Cruise is a year older than my dad, or a year younger than my dad.
Right.
One of the two.
So, is your dad fighting fit for a fight?
No, he doesn't look like he's doing the Mission Impossible shit either, which
Right,
is
okay.
he's in the middle of as well. Just complains about his knees all the time.
I'll get into some of the super chats. Jacob OC, welcome to the Academy. Thanks for your support. Carl says, do you rate the Peep Show? I'm seeing you mean Peep Show. I do rate Peep Show. Zachary Purvis, who's been a member of the Academy for 18 months, says, for the new kit for Paddock FC, this is your department, not our department, the Paddock lads should just rock them for the day on all live shows. Love the content, lads. Excuse me.
You have to speak to me about that.
Yeah. Peter Kelly says, I went over to my mate's house, 3 of them cheering for Liverpool, 2 in their Liverpool jerseys, and I was sat there in my Real Madrid Ronaldo jersey. Lol. Carl says, ever been to Beirut while you were in the army, Steve?
No.
There you go.
Lebanon.
There you go.
Gareth Robinson even says, Crawler is sound. I tweeted him when I had an up-and-coming white collar fight, asking for tips, and he tweeted me back.
And he came round to my house
I was gonna
and
say,
trained me for 12 weeks.
Yeah. Let me move into it with him.
I'm doing runs at 5 a.m. in the morning with him. Who's sound?
No, he is one of the good guys.
I'm so tempted to troll him because he is so nice. Just troll Crawler and ask him to do stuff and see if he'll do it.
How far can you get?
Yeah, because I reckon you're looking at a 95% hit rate.
Yeah, like, can you pick us up? I'm stuck in Milan.
Middlesbrough.
Yeah. Is there any chance
There's a list
you
back
can
from
come and get us?
Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve, I'm dead busy. Gives
Come on,
half an
it's
hour.
2 a.m. Steve. The kids are asleep. Come on. All right. I'm on my way. No, he is. I was chatting to him the other day, actually. We're going to try and get him back on the channel. He's not been on for a little while, so we will get him back.
He's coaching my mate at the moment, Alex Dilmagani,
Yeah.
future world champion.
Nice.
Alex went out to Mexico. He was 4-0, I think, at the time. He was on Hatton's promotion. 4-0. He's from down south. He's a southpaw, very aggressive southpaw, very, very good movement. And this is as I fucking hate saying this. Juan Manuel Marquez. It's a bit of a tongue twister.
Manuel Marquez.
As he was fighting Pacquiao, they wanted a really aggressive southpaw just to keep throwing him in the ring with Marquez, just to get him used to ready for Pacquiao. And they fly Alex over to Mexico. He's fighting with Ignacio, I think he is, the trainer over there. It's De La Hoya's gym in Mexico City. They fly him over. They pay him to be there, whatever. And Alex fucking sparks out Marquez. And he's like, I'm getting buried in the desert, aren't I? Like, this is like, he goes like, Showtime are there, the cameras are there, the cameras are there and everything. And he's like, fuck. He's like, he goes, he's gone to hook us and I've seen it. He goes, I've rolled under it and I've gone bosh and put him away. And I've gone, oh shit. He goes, he's like asleep. He goes, the gym just goes quiet. And I was like, oh, I'm dead. And then he goes, De La Hoya's like, take your stuff off, go and sit in the office. And he was like, right, this is me, I'm dead. And he goes, him and the coach come in, they're like, right, you're moving to Mexico and you're training here and we're going to make you a world champion. And he's like, didn't think I could say no.
Wow.
You
That's
don't.
one extreme to the other from what you thought was going to happen.
Yeah, there's two choices.
Thought you,
So he lived in Mexico for I think about 6 or 7 years. He's back in England now and he's training with Ant in Manchester. And I think he's just sorted himself out a decent promoter. But that is the mentality to go, yeah, fuck it. I'll just move to Mexico. Train like a Mexican fighter, learn Spanish, the lot. Just
seriously.
yeah, that's fucking balls. That
Where's
is.
he from? Where's he from, this kid?
I think he's from Southampton originally.
Oh, fair enough.
But I think moved to Manchester. I think that's your origin story of a world champion, isn't it?
No.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Did you see that Stu Brennan's tweeted?
Why would I see that?
But it's good news.
I can't say what I want to say.
Don't say it then.
Don't say what you want to say. Water it down.
No,
He's tweeted something.
You talk. And let
He's
him
tweeted
think about
something that
that
I
first.
consider to be good news. He's leaving the MEN. He says after 24
good
years.
news?
Well, it is, isn't it? We don't have
Say
to put
on
with
YouTube,
him.
been round.
He said, "I've decided to. It's time to leave the MEN sports desk." He's taking up something different, like journalism, maybe. So,
Nice.
yes. So
He's going working in Abu Dhabi on something totally unrelated, is he?
I don't think he's got something on the pipeline, so it sounds like they've just had enough of him. So that's something to look forward to, innit? On the MEN after United play City, we're not going to get the completely biased match reports.
Oh yeah,
that
because
slag
they'll
off,
hire
speaking
someone
of-
flag
else.
off United
Speaking
fans
of
for
biased match
cheering about a
reports,
win.
Did you see the Athletic one where they wrote in an
Oh my
alternative?
God.
There's a lot.
That's like I love the Athletic, and
There's
they've
a
got
lot of
lots of
good-
good writers, but
done
that
They wrote
was the worst
an
thing I've ever read.
alternate match report as if Liverpool beat Madrid
5-1.
5-1.
Genuinely, this happened.
Honestly,
Why does this only happen with the Scousers? I've never seen anything
amazing.
else.
It
Why
means-
isn't there an alternative Premier League where Norwich won it?
It means mostly.
It does mean
more?
more. You're
Yeah,
right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It was
I
like,
didn't know what I mean.
even though Madrid beat him and Liverpool had a great game and all this kind of stuff, in an alternate universe, Mane scores within the 4th minute.
It's a
and they
full
go,
match report,
Full
bro.
match report. As,
It goes
as if
through
it
it all.
happened.
Did they write it thinking this would happen and go, just post it anyway?
No.
Put a couple of paragraphs at the start saying if. Honestly, madness.
That's like it's just, I don't even know what to do with that information. That is just. I was reading it thinking, I'm reading this because I'm subscribed to this.
Yeah.
I can read this full article because I've got a subscription.
Are you trying to see
what is going
maybe
on?
if the letters are wrong and
You've got
they've spammed
people
you.
like Laurie and Carl and Andy Mitten who just like spend their absolute every waking hour making sure every article is spot on, and then you've got others who are just making stuff up that's getting lapped up by all the Scousers. It was bizarre.
Imagine that role play. So we just paid for you to go to Paris.
Nice.
What did you write while you was there? Wrote a match report.
Yeah, what about Vinicius' goal and the
No, what I
VAR
did
and all
was
that?
I wrote what would happen if we'd have actually won 5-1. You taking a fucking piss?
What? You don't work here
Imagine
anymore.
that. Oi, dickhead. We fucking lost.
But do you know what, though? They did this, the Athletic, during lockdown, didn't they? Do you remember when you had your mate, what's his name, like Michael Cox, writing an article to why Roy Keane was crap against Juve? And just nonsense like that. And it's like, what is this? And I get it because they were running out of things to write about because there's no football. But when there's an actual game, the Champions League final,
Madness.
Real Madrid have just won it for the record-breaking, record-increasing 14th time.
How about we write something about Carlo Ancelotti
Yeah.
just being an absolute fucking...
What is that? His 4th Champions League?
the fact that what's his team talk? He kind of stares at you a bit.
Yeah, go on. Raises his eyebrow when he's really annoyed.
Yeah.
I said this to Jay before as well. Did you not think, well, you didn't watch it, did you? I said to him, the Madrid players look so calm. Like,
Maybe just chill.
even when, like, because Liverpool could have scored and maybe should have scored in the first half hour or
Once or
so.
twice.
Modric was just like, give me the ball, it's all right.
Do you see when they went
Just
for a
like-
goal?
The last half
They
hour.
went for a goal
No,
and they were
but-
passing it about in front of the goal. Like they were 4-0 up. I'm like, stick your foot through that. And they were like, yeah, do you want to go? No, go on, you have a go. Oh, he's tackled me, don't worry about it.
But no, but even in the first half.
Well,
like,
look at that
it's getting the
midfield.
ball.
That midfield literally now has 5 Champions Leagues.
It's ridiculous.
You don't get that by
Yeah,
accident.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, they're an older midfield, granted, but you can imagine how chill they are.
Van
their
Gaal
only-
didn't want Tony
You seen
Cruz.
the- you see
Van
this-
Gaal looked at our midfield and went, Tony Cruz, I don't need him.
Did you see the Ceballos thing as well? He said, I couldn't sleep the night before, and Cruz and Modric are just sat there playing cards, going, it's all right, we only play Liverpool. Beat them lot.
Like Pirlo's famous quote, isn't it? Like, on the Sunday, the whatever of 2006, played a bit of PlayStation, they went out and won a World Cup.
Just before you get to that, my friend,
Yeah.
John West Tuner says, why don't United have an OnlyFans girl like Astrid Wet L. Brooke? Does it speak volumes
You all
about
right?
how far we've fallen as a club? Hashtag Glazers out. I think he's making some valid points there. A valid question. Did we not have an OnlyFans girl? I'm not well up on these things. We're not.
I
The
have no
subscription
idea,
ran
Jay.
out a few weeks ago.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Jay.
well, it's a valid question. I think one that needs put into the Glazers next time they have
Yeah.
a fans forum meeting.
Yeah, send it in, someone will sort it.
Yeah, sort it out, yeah.
Listen, forget the left wingers.
Why am I seeing Astrid Wet and Ellie Brooke running round for our rivals? Where's ours? It's pathetic.
Want melons?
Hey, game's gone.
Game's gone. Speaking of that, go on. Me?
Yeah. Oh, sweaty sack summer is approaching. I love how these start, eh? And it's time for you to prioritise the comfort of your crotch. That's why the kings of crotch comfort, Manscaped, have spent 2 years designing the most comfortable boxer briefs out there. And I've had the honour of testing out these new boxers, and I can say it's the softest fabric of any underwear. So breathable, it's like gills
What if
for
they
your groin.
trademarked, Jay?
They've even trademarked the jewel pouch. Yeah, that's where I keep my jewels, mate. Don't you worry about that, yeah? The jewel pouch trademarked. So you know it's serious. It's time you invest your family jewels so you let your bulge breathe, right? And you get 20% off and free shipping when you use the code DevilSweaty at manscaped.com, because we've all had them experience, haven't we, with boxers?
Shit
Me
boxers.
and him, we ran the 10K, didn't we? Some of us did it with £40 on our back, others didn't. I'm not going to say which one.
I
which.
literally did it in my Manscaped boxers.
Exactly.
Because they're comfy.
They're
Yeah.
proper
Shave.
gym tackle.
This
boxers.
guy ran 10K with the equivalent of a child on his back.
Blake weighs 39.5.
Well, there you go. It's almost identical, right?
Carrying your child.
And he did it in his boxer briefs from Manscaped,
And
he
pants.
could breathe, and pants, and he was loving
He
it.
did more,
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
loving life. He came back here fresher than when he set off. And also, thanks to the Lawnmower 4.0, you've got the best electric trimmer for below the waist grooming. You know about all that. You've got the skin safe technology to minimise all the nicks and cuts that you might get with other products. You've also got the crop preserver,
I'm
the
gonna
crop
read it.
toner, the ball preserver,
The
all that stuff.
penultimate
Go on.
bullet point down there says the front fly opening gives easy access and makes bathroom breaks quick and efficient.
I love that bit.
In case anyone didn't know how to get the dick out.
No, but you
in
need
case.
that. Have you never had it at the back? Where you're like, oh,
You just put them on the wrong way, Jay.
No, but boxers, there's some boxers now don't have
that's a good
the
point, that.
easy opening, don't have a fly at the front anymore.
That's up there with the multi-purpose on-off switch.
It's good that, don't you knock that.
Because, right, I am sick of products that only have an on or an off
See,
switch.
now you're
Do you know
saying
what I mean?
this
Like,
now.
it's even what my
You're
torches
see,
at
now
home are all
you're
knackered.
saying
Well, it's not
gone.
multi-purpose. The purpose
Yeah.
is power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you're saying this now because what you can do is you hold it and it doesn't turn on and off, which means when you're going through airport security in a few weeks, Your pouch isn't buzzing away.
Can we just say this line as well that I'm making
Please do.
up?
I love it. No. this is better.
Basically, just imagine, right? So it says the dual pouch is a pouch designed to cradle your boys in their own special space, lined with perforated performance fabric.
Fucking what now?
To keep them well ventilated. Basically, just imagine your balls sipping pina coladas, chilling on an hammock on some tropical beach.
Just imagine it.
Hey, that's beautiful. And
I want to meet the guy at Manscaped who writes this shit.
I want to meet his
I want
dealer.
to see what he looks
I
like.
want to see how much he's been.
They're good, these lads, to do this.
Remember the guy who used to sit on the buses in town with a white rabbit?
You've said this before.
He was
we've all gone,
shoeless, right? He was shoeless. He was often shirtless in November, right? He had like Robinson Crusoe style pants on,
Right.
if you know what I'm saying, like 3/4 length like chinos,
Yeah.
and he had a white rabbit.
He writes these now.
He definitely writes
He's
these.
one.
That's
Yeah,
definitely
Manscaped
that
picks
guy.
him up.
What do you do now? I write ad reads for Manscaped.
Hey,
Fair
this
play
is
to
this is a vast improvement on the wheelchair one. Anyway,
Yeah.
He was singing like Finley Quay songs and stuff like that.
was
Oh, la la la.
oh, it's a shame what happened to Finley Quay, innit?
What happened to him?
He drug and drink just led him to rack and ruin.
You did all right.
Listen, not everyone can have recovery. 20% off, free shipping, Devils 20, manscaped.com. You know what to do. Go and check them out. Your balls will thank you with those Boxer Brief Performance Package dual pouch
Go and get them.
business, yeah? There's a question here I wanted to read. Someone asking about the TRA.
Someone asking about football.
Is the TRA happening next year? I believe it is. As far as I know, I am a member of the TRA, and
is
I've
it
not been
going?
told. I've not been told otherwise. I think it's been one of the few highlights of this last season. Was the TRA? All the managers have praised it for a reason. It's a great bit of atmosphere in the Red Army. Go and check it out if you do go to the matches. And you want to get involved where there's a decent bit of atmosphere. Everyone stands up and chants and all that business. The TRA, yeah, it's open to everyone. I think so. Just get applying. Nerd Immunity says Nunes has Lukaku's first touch. We shouldn't buy him. Is that true, Stephen?
Yeah, it does.
Is he better than Lukaku, though?
Is he better? You used to have a bit of a soft spot for Lukaku when I met you.
Yeah, and still kind of do.
Yeah.
Well, he's been shit at Chelsea this year, and he was kind of shit at United towards the back end.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe just the Italian lifestyle suited him because he trimmed
seems
up like
to get
a
his
fucker,
weight
didn't
in
he?
order, didn't he?
Yeah,
And
he's got a
now
bit
he seems to have gone back to
puddingy again, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Whichever takeaway that he has got very good access to in England is probably not a good thing. Maybe
It's
there's
weird,
got
isn't it?
like a
Because-
kebab shops or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
in Milan and
After that, was it 2 seasons? I don't know, or one? It was 2, wasn't it? Because they won they got to the Europa League final, didn't
Yeah,
they?
and they
And
won
then the
it.
next season they won
won
the
the
Serie A.
league, yeah.
And you think his star was as high as it's ever been, probably. And
he
he
went for
couldn't-
100 fucking million.
yeah,
Jay.
goes to Chelsea under 2. She'll just won the Champions League. You think this is your time to just, silence all those critics.
He
Put
must
it all
have.
to
He
bed.
must have had $250 million spent on him as a player.
I think you're right. What did we spend on him?
75.
75.
75. They've spent 100. That's 175. Inter got him off us for what? 67? 70. So there's 200 odd
Chelsea
million.
bought him
Chelsea
for like
bought him.
20.
Yeah.
And then
Everton bought him.
paid
yeah.
30.
Jesus
300 million
wept.
plus.
Hey, he's
Mate, someone do the receipts for this.
hey,
Fucking
what
hell.
is going on there, man? The guy's like the
He actually
GDP of a
says, though, I
small
think
country.
it might be in one of the Players' Tribune things that he did, which was really good. It might be in that, it might be in something else that I read of him. But he talks about like Belgian waffles place, like next to his mum and dad's, but back in Belgium, and he's just like, I fucking can't help myself getting back in there. So
You know what? Those
Belgian
Players
waffles.
Tribune articles were so good, weren't they? We
Yeah.
should do some like in-depth chats about the lot. I'm always up for that. We should do something like that. I did see a girl who's been a member of the academy for 18 months. Says Carlo said Liverpool was easy to decipher because of clear identity. Just don't let them run behind defence. And Van der Vaek was Maguire for the goal. Yeah, did you see that, Van der Vaek? Virgil van Dijk, sorry. Did you see that goal? Mm-hmm. Well, the goal and what he was doing. Not great defending, that is it?
nope.
It's his usual stuff.
This is the guy that I was hearing put above Yap Stam in a conversation for best.
Oh,
defenders.
I saw your chat on Friday. I had points to make.
Please do.
I can't believe you was still having him in your top 5s and top 10s.
Who? Terry?
Yeah.
I said he might make the top 10. Said, I wouldn't put him in the top 5, but I think I said I can understand why someone would. But he's not in the conversation for the best ever. The best ever for me, Premier League defenders, this is the John Terry scenario. And I did bring up your name because you and Macca went a bit further than I did when we spoke about it once. First is Stam. Second is Rio. Third is Vidic. Fourth is probably Pallister. Fifth, maybe then you can have that conversation with me. Maybe I'm going to be biased on go Steve Bruce. Yeah?
All right. my slightly less biased list.
Right.
Slightly less.
Only slightly.
And only because Wes Brown is at right back, otherwise he'd be 5th.
Wes Brown was comfortably a better technical defender than John Terry.
I think I'm seeing.
Right, so, and I've got the receipts for this. So, number 1 is Stam. He had the lot.
Facts.
The lot.
Facts.
Number 2 is Rio, and I think Rio's physicality gets underestimated because he was such a Rolls Royce on the ball. People forget his organisational skills. If he wanted to fucking smash you, he was getting smashed. I think number 3 is Company.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. No,
Right.
it's not. It's really not.
I think number 4 is Tony Adams. I think number 5 is Virgil van Dijk. And then you're looking at Carvalho, Pallister, Lucas Radebe. Who else is in the mix?
Right. Can I tell you? I can name
Do you think-
I can name one player that's better than all of them you've just mentioned, apart from Gary Pallister. Ronnie Johnson.
The thing is with Ronnie Johnson, I agree, but his star shone so bright and only very quickly.
Okay.
Do you think
I
Van
like that,
Dijk's
though.
done enough in such a short time to be up there?
I think what he's done at Liverpool is outrageously good, yeah. I think
What,
he
getting beat
was...
7-2 off Villa? Yeah, min. Do
win 2 pots.
you know what I mean?
Two important
No, but I think...
You
he's-
nailed it. They've had the same season that Arsenal had in 93.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? Was
No, I
Steve
think
Bold
he's
getting
still
player of the year?
been
No.
that good. I think he's been that good.
My only criticism, if you can call it that, of Van Dijk is he's a very late bloomer.
Yeah.
27, he was, or 26, 27, he was at Southampton.
I think what you also got to remember is the vast majority of the players that we're talking about here, all of those players played up against 2 strikers. And that's a very different game than 2 of you marking 1 striker. A lot of them now playing a little bit of a higher line than perhaps was done back in the day. But for me, this is what makes Vidic and Rio stand out as the best partnership. We had Michael Carrick, who is not a destroyer,
No.
sitting in front of those 2. And every other fucker was having it and attacking. Right? And they played on the halfway line. And we had a record number of clean sheets consecutive.
They were good.
They were very fucking good. And I think it gets completely underestimated how good they were.
I think you're right, and I think it gets underestimated, some of the attackers that they're up against. This whole recency bias, where it's like, oh, well, if you're up against, Raheem Sterling and Heung-min Son and Harry Kane, it's easier than it was back in Rio's day when you were up against,
Terry Henry and fucking...
Drogba and Shearer, like, Bergkamp and all these players that have been now in the Hall of Fame. Like,
And you think
what are you on
the
about?
other thing is the players, the worst teams. When you're going up to Bolton, you had Kevin Davis elbowing people. You don't have that anymore. You don't have that anymore.
Anelka at Bolton, remember
you don't
that?
have that. You don't have a. There's very few. There's maybe Antonio does it once a year to defenders where he absolutely just bullies them for. You used to have that every week.
Yep.
Was the lower down teams with different challenges. So you had to deal with your Omris and your Drogbas that had a bit about them, and then you just had Kevin Davis elbowing people, and you had to deal with that as well.
I just feel like the problem is when we have these conversations about defenders, we're quite privileged in the sense that all the defenders you've mentioned there, you've seen them. You remember the entire Premier League era, so you can make a sort of a judgment on what you've seen. I think people...
Honestly, I think Frank LeBuff was better than Terry.
All right, fair enough, but you're going off what you watched.
What?
Just like it.
No, I love it. I remember him at Macca, right? They got down to like Lucas Radebe, like
What do you mean down to Lucas
yeah,
Radebe?
they were like,
John Terry's looking up at Lucas Radebe.
They went through about 17 centre backs. They named centre backs I forgot played football, and they were going, he was better. He was better than him. Do you know what I mean?
Marcel
Mikel
Dessay
Silva-
had a better career, but we got the back end of him at Chelsea. Didn't
Yeah, that's the thing though. But if you're a younger person, like a younger fan, you can only go off your stats. So you go. That's why the argument was Vidic and Van Dijk, because Vidic had that season where his stats were phenomenal, rather than Rio or Stam and Van Dijk.
Well,
where for me, from the eye test of actually watching these players, and I've probably seen more of Virgil van Dijk than I've seen of any other player bar United players, because everything's televised now.
Yeah.
You know, when I was
more TV now.
yeah, when I was going watching United in the mid-90s or the early 90s, I didn't know week in, week out what City players were doing, what Liverpool players were doing, because it wasn't televised. One game out of every
That was
7.
what made Europe exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other thing as well. So, World Cup 2010, Joachim Low, Germany beat England 4-1.
I was at that game.
Do you know who they targeted?
I don't know.
It was John Terry. So their whole game plan was to get John Terry isolated. Lampard and Gerrard are not 2 defensive midfielders. He doesn't have the
Gareth Barry's
protection.
injured.
Don't have the protection that he usually has at Chelsea, which people forget about. Chelsea, he might have whatever he had at Chelsea, but he didn't play on the halfway line. He was protected. He had Essien in front of him. Makalele in front of him.
Makalele in front of him.
So-
People forget that.
Yeah.
And I always forget Makalele played.
And Carvalho alongside him, and Carvalho for me was the better of those as a technical defender. What was John Terry? He was out of position and he had excellent recovery pace, so he would make eye-catching shit. Micah Richards was exactly the same. He was shit, but he made eye-catching tackles.
He was shit.
Shit, you know.
He made eye-catching tackles,
He was shit.
and it would draw the eye.
Next week.
Match of the day player. That's exactly what John Terry was.
Do you know that meme? It's like a meme, that video clip of Phil Jones when he heads it past Giroud and everyone mocks Phil Jones for it. John Terry attempted that for England against Algeria and failed. And people
That's
use
what
that
John Terry
as a
was.
compliment to John
yeah.
Terry, trying
That's
to
what he
stick his head
was.
in front of things.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And he did do that. I give him that. He was very brave when he wasn't on the stand, and he because he would cry at a drop of a hat. But when he was playing, he would put his head in stupid places, like Vidic
he's
would.
thick.
Yeah. And he was a good in the air. I will give him this, and he had a ping on him. But his defensive positioning was as good as Gerrard's.
All right, let me ask you this is a question about John Terry. What are probably the two biggest club games John Terry's ever played in?
The one where he substituted himself on the 26th
No,
minute.
the biggest ones, the most important, that's a good one. But the most important games of your career as a club player are probably the Champions League semi-final. Yeah?
Yep.
Would that be a big game for you?
When he got sent off.
He got sent off for kneeing Alexis Sanchez in the back pointlessly, right? So, okay, you've absolutely flopped on that one, nearly cost your team the game. But there's always the Champions League final. That's probably, well, it is a bigger game.
But you could rearrange the order to take the final penalty yourself, make all the headlines, and adjust your captain's armband on the way up for the photos that you're inevitably going to take, and then fucking shin it onto the post and cost everyone a game, and then cry like a little bitch in the middle of the penalty spot.
Yeah. So his
You
two
could do
biggest,
that.
he could do that, and he did. So the two biggest games of his life for his club, Mr. Chelsea, he couldn't have been worse. He literally cost them one game and very nearly cost them the other. The only reason he won it is because he wasn't there. Do you know what
So
I mean?
he's seen his ass with Rio naming him only fifth. I
Have
literally
you got any
text Rio
reaction
and I
to
said, I
tell us
can't
about that?
believe you even made him fifth, to be honest.
What was Rio saying about that?
Crying, laughing emojis. And then I listed 10 better than him.
Yeah.
Like you
We need to find,
just
I
done
need to
that.
find the clip of him and Macca. It went on for about half an hour. They were naming everyone. And they were proper convinced. Both of them were like, yeah.
Why are you saying it like I'm not?
I know, and I'm not going to
absolutely bang
argue.
on him
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Listen, I'm not...
John Terry is a myth of a fucking player, and I don't know why. There's some players that just get that media attention. Fucking Steven Gerrard's another one, right? And I don't get what it is. They just love him and they don't do any wrong.
Do you think Trent's similar to Steven Gerrard in the sense that a lot of big things in terms of direct passes and tries wieldy things, but in the big occasions is actually
Eye-catching,
poor.
yeah.
Eye-catching player.
I think
Couldn't scan his fucking dinner, could he?
No, I think
You
with
love a
Trent,
scam.
like, he is a winger as a right back. Though, isn't
Yeah,
he?
that's
Yeah.
it.
No,
He's just
that's it.
misrolled.
Yeah.
The way Liverpool deploy him, he is a playmaker, and they should just put him like right midfield.
Yeah, that's where all the sort of a lot of the attention comes from. Because if he's a right winger putting up them numbers, people go, he's a good right winger. He's a very good
Oh,
right
he's still
winger.
very good.
Yeah,
Still
he's very good right
Still
winger.
But
No
then
point.
also, he loses possession 30, 40 times a game.
For a
that's what he
for a
tried
right back, that's
all-
mad, that, innit? For your right back to
but
do
he,
that.
but he also create. I think like Bruno, he's like the second or third highest creator in the Premier League. You can't knock that, but he's a volume merchant.
I mean,
And if you're happy with that because you have so much possession, fucking sound, you're happy with that, and that's your prerogative. Some guy was arguing with me on Twitter saying like, you'd have him in your team, though, wouldn't you? And I was like, no, I wouldn't. And he was like, but you would, though, wouldn't you? And I'm like, no, I wouldn't. I value other things. Reece James starts ahead of him 100 times out of 100.
There's a reason. I mean, I don't rate Gareth Southgate. Was a reason why he doesn't get in the English team.
Let's
because
not
you
use Gareth
need-
Southgate's logic
But you
for
know,
anything.
but you do need someone else in that team where you've not got the technical players Liverpool have to keep the ball, and you can't have Trent doing that.
Jordan Desmond, welcome to the first team. Thanks for all your support, my friend. What else? There was actually some
Should we talk about Manchester United Football Club a little bit? Maybe.
Says here, since taking over from Ed Woodward in February, Richard Arnold has driven a strategic review, an overhaul of the whole club.
Is that like a new Jeep?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
driven a strategic review
Yeah.
through Carrington into the manager's office. Said, right, what's
I've just
going
seen
on?
that. I'm blocked as well.
Patterson's just text me and him some Jason McAteer's trying to kick off with someone.
We're both blocked, so we can't say that.
Let's have a look. What on Twitter is this?
Let's stay away from it.
Yeah, let's not.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Let's not do that.
No.
Yeah, because it doesn't end well for anyone.
No.
Strategic review, Richard Arnold, overhaul of the whole club. Do you get that impression, Stephen Howson?
I do get the impression that's going on. I did it's probably going to be out after this actually. I did a video earlier looking at like Ralph going, what I think that means, so I'll steer away from that. But one thing I don't like about Ralph going now is like, this seems like a very recent decision. Don't know how recent, but it seems recent. So if this is a recent decision, who the fuck is doing that job? Or are they happy with Murta doing that job? Because I'm not happy with Murta doing that job. Murta's been doing that job already for a couple of years. We've just seen Boot leave. We've just seen Lawler leave. We need more people.
The only thing with that is there's been some stuff come out today that he's in that job now, Murta, and they've said that up until end of January when Woodward left, he couldn't actually do it because everything had to go through Woodward. So any decision he had to make had to go through that, whereas Richard Arnold seems to be going, no,
you're the man.
This is your job.
Fine.
You're doing the football stuff.
Okay.
So the question that I have with all of this now is that the Ragnick got credited for a lot of stuff going on. A lot of the scouts leaving, all this happening, the Ten Hag decision, all this kind of stuff of better football and decisions. Do we think that was Ragnick, or is this just the Arnold, Murtaugh, Fletcher thing?
Well,
and is that
Ten Hag?
Not just Ten Hag, but because we have looked at it and gone, there's a lot of big changes going on at United, and they seem to be sacking all the scouts is the right decision, should have been done years ago.
Well, I do think it's more of the Woodward Arnold thing. I've said that a few times. Like, I think, I said it on the overlap.
Yeah.
I think where United are at the moment, I'm going to say it on camera. I think Woodward was worse for us than Munich.
Right. I'm not.
Obviously, I'm not comparing people passing away. But I'm saying 10 years post Munich, we was European champions.
Yeah.
10 years of Woodward, we're in the shit. Like,
you mean like in terms of footballing effects it's had?
Yeah.
On the actual
tragedy? I'm obviously not fucking taking anything away from any of the people who lost their lives in Munich. But in terms of something that's fucking happened, Woodward has been fucking worse for the football club and where we've progressed in that time. And his legacy seems to be a very selfish, I want the say on this. I'm going to bring in that player. We can do things in a transfer market others can fucking dream of. We don't need success on the pitch to be commercially viable. All of these things, and how he allowed the ownership. He was even part of the fucking ownership coming on board from the bank side of point of view.
From JP Morgan.
Where he's laid his feet is fucking disastrous for this football club. Within 6 months, put it this way, if Woodward was still here, have we appointed Ten Hag?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Welcome Mauricio Pochettino. I guarantee it. Does this overhaul happen? Clearly not. Because this overhaul wasn't happening under Ed Woodward. This overhaul, for me, and the appointment of this manager, whether it's Ralph, whether it's Murta, whether it's Arnold, it fucking ain't Woodward. So the big change at the top, if it is just Richard Arnold saying, football guys are going to make football decisions, and I'll just fucking empower you to do that, that's what a CEO is meant to do. A CEO is not meant to fucking cut the grass. No. A CEO is not meant to be picking a team. A CEO is not meant to be fucking going signing players. A CEO is not meant to... fuck me, when's Fabregas coming?
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Ed Woodward left that tour in 2013 to go and sign Fabregas. 9 years ago, Ed. Like, a CEO has to empower his employees. He has to get the right people in, which is a skill, and he has to give those people the power and the authority to be able to bring in the right stuff and enact the changes that they want to see. Otherwise, it's the fucking Ed Woodward show. And we've seen that, and it got bad reviews.
Really bad reviews.
Tom Boyce in the Super Chat says...
Fucking eyes leaking, it's doing me head in.
What's the first thing Ten Hag buys to help him settle into his new job? I think he gets a lovely notepad and clicky pen, bullet point 1, Bin Maguire. Maybe that is what he buys. It's quite interesting. Listen, it does, there's still this little bit of turmoil going on, isn't there? Because people are losing their jobs. There's a lot of change going on behind the scenes. And you look at it and you're going, is this just more chaos at United? Especially when you look at the fact that Ralph Rangnick, who was brought in as an interim manager with this view to being a consultant, and the consultancy role made more sense than the interim manager role because he'd been a consultant for a long time. He'd only been a manager for 2 years out of the last 10. So you're thinking, well, what's going on here? Okay, he's going to be a consultant off the back of his interim manager. That kind of makes sense. And then you find out he's not staying on as a consultant. He's just going after being interim manager. So that's a bit weird. I think they've had all these stories coming out, haven't we, with people not getting on with each other, people questioning each other's role or whatever. Now we just need to get on an even keel. Hopefully Eric Ten Hag, who's got his backroom staff in place. John Murtaugh is a footballing person from what we gather. Darren Fletcher, we know all about Darren Fletcher as well. It seems like there is a better structure. And from what we've heard as well, Richard Arnold is delegating a lot of things, which is better.
I've seen there's a picture of Richard Arnold at an under-18s, not Richard Arnold, John Murtaugh at an under-18s game on the sideline, chatting to parents and coaches.
He does have that
stuff.
relationship, though, because he came from that role.
But exactly. We've not
is
had
not
someone in that
necessarily
role for the past 9 years. We've not had someone that goes, I care about the lads that are playing football there.
Well, not only
and
that,
what they're going to do.
Knows their names.
He knows the names and all that.
Fucking Ed knew who any of these lads was.
No. And it's that like, sort of just having that interest and showing you care and showing you give a toss and, you know what I mean? Showing you get what United is about.
Yeah.
Fergie knew everyone's name. Fergie knew everyone's name, and if you didn't know it,
He did it to a different level, though. I think he was fucking bizarre.
He knew the cleaners' names and everything. He
Not
was
that,
like,
everyone in your family's names.
yeah, he
Like,
was.
fuck me.
But someone was saying this about. I was chatting to someone who works at United the other day. I was at a christening. One of the lads, he works around the tunnel. He does the tunnel, the players and stuff. And he was saying to me that what's become evident already with Ten Hag is if you speak to him, you tell him something, he'll remember it about you.
Right.
So if you go, you know, I'm such and such, I work on this. Oh yeah, you know, I was working at, you know, Stockport, but I moved there last year. All right, okay, see you next week. Oh yeah, you enjoying the job, man? Better than Stockport. He's got that. I've made that anecdote up, but the point is he does remember things.
I don't know where the
He's got
fuck you get that ability from.
Yeah, it's like people are already impressed with him knowing. He'll remember your name. He'll remember something about you. I'm not saying you know life story, but he remembers little things where in the past you've had this where there's just sort of been the us and them attitude with staff and the coaching staff, and it feels like United are getting back to how they should be, just from these little noises I'm hearing from various places.
I heard some horrible story about Mourinho, really bad ones about when he was there, about him and groundsman.
Really?
May or may not have been putting pitchforks in his office and then saying, come and get your fucking pitchfork. So Mourinho's nicked it and then tried to get him sacked off the back of it.
What, like he'd been in my office and left my pitch?
No, like imagine you taking that camera, going upstairs with it, and then ringing our staff going, come get your camera, you dickhead. That's what.
Yeah, so Mourinho's gone, grabbed a pitchfork,
Yep.
and then said, come and get your pitchfork, like the guy had left it in his office or
Yep.
something.
And then tried to get him sacked off the back of it.
Daniel Kirk says,
I've been in your office, you fucking helmet.
Yep.
Trent, major
Fine.
Wally of the Week contender for singing on that embarrassing parade. Absolute sausage. Do you know, a lot of people have been going on about this fucking parade. And you know what? If you have a parade for what you've won, I don't mind that. Do what you got to do. Do you know what I mean? I'm still just annoyed we didn't get ours in 2008 because GMP bottled it.
It's Rangers, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, Rangers smashed up the city centre and GMP used that as an excuse not to give Manchester United fans a parade after we'd win the Champions League, like we weren't going to just celebrate and not smash up our own city like we had done at every single parade we've celebrated. There's never been a drama, but he just went, oh no, you can't have a parade. Maybe you can have one later in the summer, and then we didn't get one. And then, you know, as soon as City start winning trophies, won the FA Cup in 2011, here's a parade straight away, no dramas. Just still annoys me. Rebecca Jade O'Sullivan says Murtaugh's brought someone in to assist with the academy and the women's team so that he can focus on men's first team. And I'm so glad a football guy is making football
That's what you want.
decisions. Yeah, this is all we've wanted, really, isn't it? Because we've just not had it. We've just not had football people in charge, and the amount of power that the likes of Judge and it was everyone talking about Judge, how he was just clueless, saying like you had to tell him like what, you know, there's a player that was trying to get in touch with you.
Well, I mean, I got a lot of shit for something, but it was 100% fucking true.
not
When
like
I
you.
said it, it's still 100% true right now. I didn't give the player's name at the time, and everyone assumed it was... I can't remember who everyone thought it was, but it was wrong, whoever it was. Was it a PSG player? I can't remember who it was.
I know who it is. I know who it was. It ended up being. Who was it? I'm trying to think who it was. Who
Yeah,
was
there was someone everybody assumed it was, but it wasn't. It was always Hakimi. So Hakimi was at Dortmund on loan from Madrid, I think, and had come to have a tour around Spurs while Poch was still there. Poch basically took him on a date in a new stadium. They had dinner in a fucking box overlooking the stadium, and he told him where he was going to play and all that lot. And you're thinking, I'll fucking sign for Spurs. Like, this sounds like a fucking right good do. And that's what you should do for a player. If you're going to invest probably 60, 70 million pound into a player, you could at least fucking show him around the stadium and sell him a dream a little bit, can't you? Take an hour out your day to try and do that. United had Judge doing that. And you think, no wonder United get pied left, right and centre. And here's exactly what happened. And this, I heard I heard this, and then I know an agent at the agency that he used to be at. And I asked the agent, and I went, did this happen? And he went, yeah. How the fuck did you know that? And I was like, right, that's true then. And what had happened is, while they're in London, so United have that office in Mayfair, while they're in London, they've organised a meeting with United at the same time. And he sits down and he goes like, all right. And Matt Judge asks Achraf Hakimi, what's your name, son? And he's like, right. And then he like writes it down. And he's like, how many international caps have you got? And his agent stops him and goes, are you taking the fucking piss?
Yeah.
Like, and then he told him, we've just been to Spurs, basically just been fucking non-stop almost by fucking Pochettino here. He's been all about him that much. Like, took him on a fucking date and everything. And you're sitting here and asking him what's his name. Do you think he's going to sign for your football club? He's a fucking United fan and all. Like, roll the red carpet out. And I know it's a bit of player power in it sometimes, but you've got to I mean, the guy's probably top 3 right-backs in the world at the moment.
What did he go with last summer? Was it 60 million quid from Inter to PSG?
Yeah.
After winning the league with Inter. Yeah. So, and we've got Wan-Bissaka and Delo. Like, you just think now, if you get that player in.
And these are the fucking mistakes that we've been making. People just fucking rocking up at that Mayfair office. I'm sure not on minimum wage and all. To fucking negotiate these mega million deals. And this is like, you go, why aren't United getting bargains? This fucking clown. This fucking clown. Doesn't know who he's talking to. 5 minutes of research. Like, because I'm sure they didn't just turn up, knock on a door. I'm sure there was an email conversation that was like, we're going to bring Achraf around to come and talk to United. I'm sure there would have been some sort of a back and forward conversation. A little bit of due diligence, even if you don't know, if Matt Judge himself doesn't know who Achraf Hakimi is, have you not got a researcher that you can go, do us a favour, get me a fucking dossier on him?
That is just shocking, that, isn't it? That is absolutely
And then you go,
shocking.
right, yeah, so, and when he sits down, you go, listen, we know all about you. Yeah, we think we're the best right backs here. And, do you see yourself at United? Blah, 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 blah. Do you know what? Let's get you on the phone with the manager.
Well, that's the whole point. It was Pochettino doing that dealing, and we have Matt Judge doing it. Like, that's where it should be. It should be the manager or a coach or someone that's involved in the football side that can explain to him.
Zidane did it for a long time at Madrid and sold him the dream. I'd love Eric or Paddy Evra doing that job at United.
Well, that's it.
Imagine that. Are you saying no to Cantona?
No,
Cantona knocks on your door. He's got flowers and like a pack of bulls, right?
Even if it's someone
and
that...
he's like, let's take him out to
Ten Hag fans, a Dutch player, someone, Van Persie or someone like that that's maybe not doing his coaching or whatever, come in and just do this. Just say, look, when I signed here, I was here to win this.
Listen, we're gonna
this is what you're going to do.
We'll give you 3 months' work. June, July and August.
That's all you got to do.
And all we're going to do is we're going to box you off, send you around to all the nice places in the world, and you're going to go and sell them the fucking dream. Imagine Paddy Evra turns up at your house with a skateboard. And he's like...
Why a skate?
Because it's Paddy Evra.
Yeah,
skateboard and one shoe on, right?
Yeah.
And he's like... Let me talk to you about the fucking best football club in the world. You're listening, aren't you?
Absolutely.
And then he's like, what are we talking about? I want to forget the money. Think about the trophies. And then before you know it, you're fucking 5-year deal and you're fucking having your photo took in front of Stretford End.
We're getting trolled in a super chat, but I'll read it out anyway. CR says, you are absolute legends. If anyone watches your season predictions and still think you know half a pigeon brain worth of management or strategy, what? Just because I predicted Liverpool to finish 5th and United to win the league? I don't know what you're on about, bro.
Did that happen?
That
was last season. You're still going on about last season?
I know. Daniel Kirk says,
get over it.
I'm in Scotland and enjoying talking about anything but the Queen. That's how we celebrate up here. CJ Rook says, what are Murtaugh's credentials that has people putting faith in him? He's been around a long time. He's at Everton when he was at the Premier League. He's done a lot of jobs in football. And that's why people sort of think... And he's
I don't think Arnold's got so much football experience. He's been at United for a long time.
Yeah, I mean... Listen,
that's not really a fucking internship to be
proud of. And listen, like most clubs have a financial someone with a financial background at the level where Arnold is now. Like City have it, Liverpool have it. Just they delegate. So if he's delegating, and listen, I don't know a lot about Richard Arnold. We'll give him we're waiting to see what's going to happen here. Do you know what I mean? This is his chance to prove it in this window and moving forward.
I mean, it's amazing that you've got Van der Sar doing this job, and it's amazing that you've got other. Highly decorated footballers that are doing this job like Leonardo and people like that, right? Some doing it good, some not doing it so good. But if you like, let's get Dennis Irwin involved. Well, what's his credentials? He's a fucking shit hot left back. Right. does he know anything about anything? Like,
Yeah,
Van der Sar went to university and did like
done a
courses
master's
and
in
stuff.
business. You can't just. Not many people go down that route after they play professional football, and you can't just do that. And this director of football role isn't usually an ex-player. It's very, very rare that you're going to see that. Like Maldini's another one at AC Milan.
Well,
That's
I know
a big shock. It's different.
Jolyon Lescott, for example, like obviously he's a blue, not everyone's favourite thing on here. I rate him, mate. He's a fucking sound guy. Obviously, you saw him come and play us at Paddock. He's doing a degree or a master's in football directorship, and he's also coaching England under 21s. That's a person going out there and getting his quals. You know, whether you fucking rate him as a blue or whatever, that's up to you. But he will probably end up at a club somewhere. Could be Everton, could be City, where he will be responsible for this. But he's putting a graft in now on the sly.
Absolutely.
You know, he's doing a bit of TV work every now and then, keeping the bills paid. England, I think he's England under 21 coach or manager. I think he's coach. And at the same time, you know, so he's staying on the pitch, but he's also going to uni and he's putting the graft in doing this. And I know there's a couple of other players doing similar sorts of things, which you think will probably pay off down the line for them. And it's like when someone goes, oh, there's a director of football job available at blah. Well, when they apply for it and they go, well, what's your fucking qualifications? You go, yeah, I've just done a fucking master's in it, and you know, I've still been doing this with England, kept my hand in the coaching, so I'm current with players, you know, I'm blah, 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 blah. And that's what it needs to be. It's not been like, hey, busy tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to play golf. All right, do you fancy coming doing this job instead?
It's like when Everett said he got offered it or whatever, he said he even knew it wasn't going to be the job because number one, he wasn't qualified for it, and number two, he was never going to give him the qualification or the right to go and do this stuff. It was just going to be, oh, we can sack him if it all goes wrong, which we knew what was going to be the case.
I'd love to have an ex-player, like them three, Beckham, Cantona, Evra, right? If them three rock up at your fucking door.
Yeah, that's it. Do you know what I mean?
You go in.
Come on, you sign anything, wouldn't you? You sign your life away if those three knock up at your door.
And
rock up at your door.
United have got so many iconic players that I can't believe how we're run as a business, because Real Madrid did that. Real Madrid basically just fucking cheated attracting players by just employing the likes of Zidane and Raul as ambassadors that go out and just fucking butt you up.
Exactly. Yeah, it works as well. Charlie Wiener Jones says, I remember before you were trying to get an interview with Woodward. Any chance that ever happens now? I think it's safe to say no. Wally of the week, Alex Bagley.
I'm going to go for the Michael Owen, probably. That's the main one. The tweets were great after the game, still do, but the fact he said they're still the best team in the world, just all Europe,
Just
after
absolute
finishing second.
Saying it as well,
Delusions.
like it was just going to be like not ignored.
Your mate Rio going, yeah, but they lost twice. They've lost the league and then they lost the Champions League, so they can't be the best, can they, Michael? Yeah, but they look the best.
Do you know what made me laugh about when Rio was commentating the other night? And it was barely picked up on. It was like he was talking about how, you know, when your levels are that high and you know, if you lost the Champions League final, he said, you know, we've had seasons when I remember like one season we won the league and you lost the Champions League final and then you spent the summer being gutted, and this land hadn't even won the league.
It was amazing. He was dropping a couple in.
It was so dry
Well,
that
the thing is,
it sort of went under the radar.
Man and Owen played for Liverpool and Real Madrid, but you think you tuned in to Liverpool TV.
100%.
Don't get the Owen thing. I still don't get what he's trying to do. It'd be better going and trying to just pick up Real Madrid everywhere.
They're never going to forgive him.
Yeah, but Newcastle,
Ever.
Liverpool
Liverpool
United.
fans will never forgive you for coming to United and winning a title.
So
Ever.
leave it.
Would you, if that was the other way around?
No.
There's no way on God's earth you go, no, do you know what? He scored some goals for us.
As much as we fucking give Liverpool shit, they are a big club and they have got their own legends.
Yeah.
And you little fucking Welsh twerp, you can fuck off, can't you?
It's like
no.
Robbie Fowler is an absolute god to them. And Michael Owen, you can't stand him.
I saw that tweet to him yesterday which says, if I was stranded on a desert island with
I've seen
Michael
it,
Owen
isn't
and a tin of corned beef, I'd eat Michael Owen and talk to the corned
Yeah.
beef.
It is a good in that. Who's your Wally?
John fucking Terry.
Right, okay. John Terry.
Why, Steve?
Do you know what? For once, I am not going to make it political. I'm not going to say a political one. I'm kind of going to agree with you, Baggers. I just think the whole sort of watching that game and then banging on about how Liverpool are amazing is just bizarre. I'm even going to throw Owen Hargreaves into the mix because he just spent he was on the B team. That's how good he was as a player. He didn't even make the Michael Owen table, but he was going on about how someone's putting in Michael Owen's daughter is going on Love Island.
Yeah.
There's two of the Owen family embarrassing themselves on telly. Yeah, he was saying that like, oh, you know what, Liverpool didn't do anything wrong, and then you go, they did. Even Andy Robertson, I can't stand. He came in for the interview after that and went, we didn't play well in the second half. We got things wrong.
That goal, like Robertson went forward. They shouldn't have took Diaz off because he was the one pressing there.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff.
Andy Tate in the chat says, JV heard anything about the Cup season ticket scheme? No, but I'll find out and get back to you. That's been Stephen Howson. What's videos coming up on your channel?
About Ragnick Reaction.
Ragnick Reaction, we've got one of them as well coming up soon. Also, Alex Bagley, where can people find you?
Baggers_Alex. I'm going to be drinking Guinness for 2 days, so don't mind me.
Right, okay, don't mind them too much. Big thanks to our sponsors, Manscaped. Go and check out them. It's devils20 at manscaped.com. You get 20% off and free shipping. This has been the Paddock Podcast. Thanks for watching.